I know what you're thinking. Dismoto, this is a video game movie with Ryan Reynolds. How could there possibly be anything super unexpected that would make this movie a must-watch movie? Well, let me tell you. Free Guy was directed by Sean Levy, who brought us all of the Night at the Museum movies, Cheaper by the Dozen, and Date Night. I know this looks like a Ryan Reynolds movie, but it was mostly a Jodie Comer movie co-starring Ryan Reynolds. We'll get into that in a little bit. Also, we have Lil Rel Howery, Joe Keery, and Taika Waititi. In the event you don't know what this movie is about, we have a bank teller named Guy who realizes he's a background character in a video game called Free City that will soon go offline. Alright, so real quick before we get into the super nitty-gritty of this video, I just want to say I'm confident most people, regardless of whether or not you're a gamer, are going to like this movie. Speaking of liking things, you should like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. One of the things I really enjoyed while watching this movie was it was not just a comedy movie or an action movie or an adventure movie or a romance or a story about friendships. It was all of these things in one beautiful package, and it was just super fun. I had an absolute blast watching this movie, which is why I say I think the majority of you will. It was really funny. Unfortunately, a lot of the funny moments were spoiled in the trailers. So if you watched the trailers a long time ago, do not rewatch them again before you go to the theater. Or if you're lucky enough to have not watched the trailers at all, do not watch the trailers. Go watch the movie. The jokes will hit a lot harder if you've not seen them in the trailer, I promise you that. Alright, as I said earlier, I think gamers and non-gamers alike are going to enjoy this movie. However, if you are a gamer, you are going to love this movie. There are so many references to so many different games. I don't have time to sit here and list them all, but I assure you, if you're an avid gamer or you've been a gamer for a long time, especially if you've been gaming a lot in recent years, you are going to pick up on a ton of gaming references. My favorite thing to see as a gamer was everything that was happening in the background. There are so many, not unintentional, but just subtle things going on in the background that you have to be looking for to catch up on, but if you see them, you are just going to absolutely love it. Some of these things include things you see in video games all the time where it looks like somebody is away from their keyboard and they just have a character running into a wall over and over again. Or there's this scene where you're following Ryan Reynolds and Jodie Comer, and there's just this character randomly in the background on a street corner just jumping over and over, basically looking something like this. And later in the movie, during what was like one of the more important moments and kind of dramatic moments, they still continued to include it, which I loved. I noticed way in the background, really high up on one of these buildings, there's like some flagpoles sticking out from the building, and there's some character that had walked out to the end of the flagpole and is just emoting on the end of the flagpole, and it was awesome. There are multiple Fortnite dances, so that's great. And of course, it would not be a modern multiplayer video game if there wasn't teabagging of some sort, and there's some of that in this movie as well. Aside from all of the many nods to gaming, the soundtrack is awesome. I absolutely loved every bit of the soundtrack throughout this movie. There's even this one Mariah Carey song that's played over and over, and that was fantastic. I miss Mariah Carey. It's what makes Christmas so special. You've got Jesus, Santa, and Mariah Carey music. Okay, so you all clicked on this video because I said that there were unexpected things about this movie, and I'm going to get into that now. So the first thing that really stood out to me was the acting. Now, I didn't go in assuming that there would be bad acting, but I certainly didn't expect the performance that we would get out of Jodie Comer. Going back to what I said earlier in the video, I really felt like I was watching a Jodie Comer movie, not a Ryan Reynolds movie. Ryan Reynolds obviously had a very big part, but Jodie Comer stood out to me significantly more than Ryan Reynolds. She actually plays two parts in this movie. She plays Millie, the real-life girl, and also Molotov Girl, which is the character that she's playing in the video game. They're two pretty different parts to play, and she played them incredibly well. So that's really the unexpected part for me. Ultimately, I'm not sure the movie would have been as good, because with Ryan Reynolds, you're getting Ryan Reynolds as we've all come to expect. We're getting that character that Ryan Reynolds plays that he does really well, but the real treat in this movie from an acting perspective is definitely Jodie Comer's performance. Also, I definitely did not go into this movie expecting some cerebral, existential story that would provoke thoughts on existence and free will, but that's what we got. I had some major Truman Show vibes. I had some major Westworld vibes. Kind of some Ready Player One vibes, but mostly I recognize the relationship between me, the viewer, and Guy in Free City, and how his life closely related to what we experience every day in our lives, and how often we can feel like background characters. This can make us question life's meaning and purpose, and provoke us to seek out and appreciate things that we find important in our lives. Yeah, I just said all of that about this Ryan Reynolds movie about a video game. And it didn't really hit me until my drive home from the theater how perfectly titled this movie was. I joked with my wife a few days ago when I was telling her I was going to go see Free Guy, and how I wasn't sure if it was Free Guy or Free Guy, in terms of like, is a guy being freed or is he a free person named Guy? And it's obvious that that was intentional, and it makes you wonder and think about, yes, the character, is the character a free guy? Is he being freed? Does he have free will? But also, again, it makes you think about the message and the meaning behind this movie and how it relates to us in our existence and free will and all of those things. So yeah, I think it was a super well done movie, and they totally delivered the message that they wanted to get across to the audience. They did it really well, and I really enjoyed this movie. I had more fun with this movie than I've had with a lot of movies in 2021. And as I said, I really think most of you will enjoy it. And if it's possible, try to see this in theaters. It was a really beautiful movie, so it was awesome to get to see this on the big screen and be fully immersed in the experience. I'm not sure it's going to hit the same on a home television setup, but of course there is this thing going on in the world that might prevent you from getting out to the theater, and I would totally understand if you waited till this was something you could stream. I absolutely loved this one. It's easily a 4-star film for me. Definitely want to know what you guys think. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this movie. Are you going to get out and see it? Are you going to wait until you can stream it? Or did you see the movie and you have entirely different thoughts than I had on it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. I'll see you there. Thank you for hanging out. I'll catch you guys in the next one.